Hello guys, and welcome back to Car Obsession. Yes, this is another episode of Get Your Car Featured, and like last week I'm joined by another lightweight Suzuki. This one is the Alto Works, or Auto Works, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Quite similar in quite a few ways to the Cappuccino, but as you will learn, it is also quite a different car. So I'll be honest, I don't know much about this car, so let's bring on someone who does know about it, the owner, Luke. So he's going to give us a little walk around the car and yes, tell us more about it. Now, in case you're wondering why the engine's running, we had the lights on for a bit of time whilst it was parked, and the battery may have gone flat, but we won't say any more about it. Anyway, take us away, Luke. Talk us through the car.
Well, yeah, just a Suzuki Alto Works. Done a few bits, obviously wheels, done some jack coilovers. Unsure of the brand, I do know, but not very common brand. And then, yeah, had some bits painted, got a few stickers here and there. It's got a Kakimoto titanium tip exhaust, which is around the back. But yeah, it's got the F6A engine. It's 4-wheel drive, this model.
Which you said off camera is quite rare, there's only 3 in the country.
I believe there's only 3 in the country and only 2 manual ones. This is one of the manual ones.
Yeah. So you mentioned the engine code a few months ago, F6A, which is the same engine used in the Cappuccino, apart from, as you educated me off camera, the Cappuccino has a dual cam, whereas this is single cam. Yes. But you're still making 64 horsepower, yes, much like the Cappuccino, and like the Cappuccino, this is what is classed as a K car, so it has to be lightweight, it has to be certain dimensions, and the engine can't be any more than 660cc. So in some ways, fundamentally, it is very similar to the Cappuccino, but as I mentioned, it's also quite a bit different. Let's open up the engine bay, see what's going on underneath there. I love the way how these look. They're just so 90s, and I mean that in the most endearing way possible. So there is the beast, pushing out 64 horsepower, nice little aftermarket air filter, also a HKS.
It's a HKS style one,
yeah.
Not the micro filter. I got the take-off strap brace.
So I'm guessing that's a modification.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the intercooler, isn't it?
Yes.
Tiny little intercooler on top of the engine, which is just where you want your intercooler at the arguably the hottest point of the engine.
Got the hood scoop.
But you got the scoop as well, which adds to the coolness. As Luke mentioned, got the unknown Japanese branded coilovers just lurking through there. And the dilly little battery, which, yeah, it needs a bit of assistance. So if I sound a little bit out of breath, it's because I was pushing this to do a bump start. But thankfully, this is very light. Do you know how much this weighs actually? 710
kg.
Really?
It's a 4-wheel drive version. The front-wheel drive version is a lot lighter as well.
So, well, if the internet is to be believed, the Cappuccino is 725 kilos. So that's interesting. So theoretically, at least, this is somehow lighter. Okay, and yours is even lighter because you haven't got rear seats. Did they?
I do have rear seats.
Oh, they're just folded down.
Because I can't have passengers because it's too low and bumpy. Yes.
So this is more like a Cappuccino in the fact that it's a 2-seater.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's a practical 2-seater.
Practical 2-seater. Well, it's almost like a little minivan.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of stuff in the back, to be honest with you. Like wheels, exhaust, and body kits and stuff.
Let's have a little taste of the exhaust, shall we? Because you mentioned that a few moments ago. It's relatively quiet here, so I think we can get away with it. It won't be quite much longer though. That does sound pretty good. That sounds nice. So coilovers, wheels, exhaust. The steering wheel is obviously not standard. Got a lovely gnarly steering wheel, which wouldn't look out of place in an MX-5.
It came out of my MX-5.
Well, there we go. Well, when you're not looking, you might find it's disappeared. Because that's a very nice steering wheel. That would look lovely in Monique, who's just over there. Just thought I'd bring her out for the day. As with any 90s Japanese car, the interior is, it's so retro, and again, I mean it in the best way possible. Look at that. If that doesn't say 90s, I don't know what does. That is fantastic. Now sadly, because of boring insurance reasons, I won't be driving the car today, and some of you may go, oh, yeah, it is what it is, guys. These cars are so rare. I wanted to get this featured on the channel regardless. These cars have intrigued me for quite some time. I think they're really cool. So what we do is I'll rig some GoPros to the outside, jump inside, and Luke will get behind the wheel and show me what this, well, show me and you guys watching what this car is all about. Little pop from the exhaust there. Oh. Now, one thing I noticed from the get-go, this seems to make a bit more induction noise than the Cappuccino. Whether that's because you've got a the mushroom filter, that could well be a benefit. So I can't remember whether his one had an aftermarket air filter. It may have done, but yeah.
It sounds a lot better when you got the dump valve blocked off.
Yeah.
It just comes straight back through the filter, but it's not very good for these engines, I'm told. So I have it fitted at the moment.
Yeah. Oh yes. Pop, pop, pop. It's like a little rally car.
It is.
Of course, it's four-wheel drive. What does this rev up to?
About 7.5.
Okay, yeah. Oh, it's so rev happy. Oh, that exhaust. And because you've got the back seats down as well,
yeah,
you're getting more of the noise, which can only be a good thing. Possessed you to buy this car? Not that you need a particular reason, but it's quite a niche car, I think it's fair to say.
I've always loved any Jap car really, especially imports. The rarer the better.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had an MX-5 beforehand and I loved that. I've always wanted one, but
yeah,
when this came up at a decent price, I couldn't really say no to it.
So you got this for a good price. How much would you normally expect one of these to go for? What would you say is the average kind of going price?
On the four-wheel drive front, I've got no clue. There's none being sold for ages.
Yeah.
And obviously when I got this, it was as a part exchange, so you wouldn't put that as the value that they go for.
Yeah.
But on the front-wheel drive front, if you've got a clean one, it's probably you're looking about $6,000.
Oh, well, okay.
So yeah, around that.
Yeah. And how easy is it to find one of these? I imagine they're kind of few and far between, once in a blue moon kind of thing.
To be fair with you, at the moment there's quite a lot.
Is there?
There's about 3 on the market.
Okay.
People just selling up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think any other month you'd be finding one on Facebook or eBay.
And if someone by chance is watching this and they're thinking about buying one, which is quite likely because they may be doing their research, what kind of things to look out for? Obviously, rust. Is always going to be a thing with a Japanese car of this age. But yeah, so rust is a given, really.
It is. But I think there's so many different models and variations of them.
Yeah.
That you want to look out what you're buying. So obviously, you get them with there's some with a K6A engine in called the RSZ. Now that's a twin cam, but it's not the F6A twin cam.
And also the K6A is chain driven, isn't it?
Yes, the K6A is train driven.
It's got a bit more torque if the internet is to be believed.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously it's not easy to buy parts at all for either of these cars.
Yeah.
But for that one, I've been told it's a lot harder. And I think the automatic ones are decent, but the gearboxes aren't that great. They're only 3-speed.
Yeah.
With a 4th overdrive, I believe.
Yeah, I imagine it's the same auto available in the Cappuccino.
Yes, I believe.
That's also made available with, well, was made available with a 3-speed auto. I love the little turbo gauge. It's so cool. So next question, how easy or difficult is it to get parts? You mentioned it a few moments ago, it can be quite tricky.
Yeah, there's a few parts you can get in the UK. There's a very helpful Facebook group which have listed all the parts you can get over the UK from other vehicles that fit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of helpful people in the UK who know a lot about them, to be fair. But yeah, like I said, I've done discs and pads on this. Pads you can get fine UK stock from other vehicles.
Yeah.
But this I had to import, and various other bits I've had to import.
And from a modification point of view, is there lots of bits you can get for this? I imagine a lot of it's got to come from Japan.
Yeah, I'm not too clued up on the engine side of modifications, but I presume that would all be from Japan anyway.
Yeah.
The engine was only produced in Japanese cars.
Yeah.
And I think people have modified coilovers to fit. But yeah, I think most modifications you're looking at straight from Japan.
I imagine those modifications to the coilovers probably a little bit suspect.
But I'm not too sure.
Kind of cutting shots. So, how did you find the driving experience, having had a few MX-5s in your past, going from those to this?
It's slow, but it's not as slow as I thought it would be.
Right.
Obviously, I came into it going, oh, 3-cylinder, turbo, 64 brake. I've had micros before running 70 brake.
Yeah.
So I'm like, slow, like no torque, just slow. But in fairness, so in the micro, I used to struggle going uphill.
Yeah.
This will still pull. I think the turbo makes it pull a lot better.
Yeah, of course.
And a lot of people who have been in this car also say it's not as slow as they think.
No.
And the grand scheme of things, it's not as fast as your MX-5 or your other vehicles like them, but it's not that slow.
Yeah. The ride is pretty good as well. Once you get up to speed, it's not too bumpy. It's a firmness to it, obviously, because it's coilover, and the fact that this car is essentially 4 square on the road, it's got such a short wheelbase, then you will pay a bit of a penalty when it comes to ride comfort, but it's not actually that bad.
Yeah, it's big bumps that get you.
Yeah, of course.
Make you jump in the air.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be hitting any potholes in this. So what are your plans for this in the future? Any big modifications, or just just maintenance and just look after it and keep it as it is?
It's got to be cleaned up a bit.
Yeah.
I've got a rear lip on order.
Yeah.
I'm going to be buying a front lip, get them painted, and then yeah, I've got a bit of rust to sort out, not a major amount, but yeah, just tidy it up.
Well, it's a Japanese car from the 90s. There's always going to be some rust somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just a case of where it is, not if there's any there, kind of thing. But as I said in the Cappuccino, it's just an awesome car because it is so small, but it's just bursting with character, and I just love the noise it makes. It's brilliant. The exhaust noise, the induction, yeah, it's visceral, and that's what cars nowadays just don't give you. I'm all for these kind of cars. You said this, you've almost owned this about a year now.
Yeah, nearly. It's my daily.
And has it lived up to your expectations? Has it exceeded them?
Yeah, no, it's perfect, to be fair with you. I've got no complaints about it.
Yeah.
Other than it revs so high.
I mean, I don't know
when you're sat at 70.
Yeah.
And it's got a speed limit on it. It's restricted to, can't remember how many kmh, but it works out about 84.
Yeah.
And so you can't go any faster than that.
Which makes sense, because I think the top speed of these, well, if it's anything like we're really going now, that's fantastic. Yeah, the top speed of the Cappuccino is about 85, give or take. Yeah. But the one I filmed with, it's been delimited.
You can buy the delimiter boxes.
And he had it up to about 120 on the Autobahn, which is pretty good going.
Yes.
But this thing just absolutely flies.
It sticks as well. It's not got the greatest tyres on, but they're not bad, but it holds its own.
Well, they're not ditch finders, which is the main thing.
Yes.
They're good quality tyres.
This is the bumpiness I'm about.
Yeah, it is a bit bumpy, but it just adds to the sensation. It adds to the experience. And I'd say the other thing that's probably worth mentioning, it's just popped into my head, if someone is thinking about looking to buy these, is the possible difficulty of getting insurance.
Yes. You can't get insurance the traditional way. You have to call them up, and I found only 2 insurance companies will find this vehicle at Auto Works.
No, it's been lots of fun. In terms of fun, would you put this higher than an MX-5?
Well, I don't know. MX-5's rear-wheel drive, you can have all sorts of fun in that.
Yeah.
But this is, it's still fun.
Do you happen to know what the split of power is in this in the 4-wheel drive? Is it 50-50 or is it 60-40?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I would imagine it's probably going to be front-wheel drive biased, so maybe 60-40.
Yeah, most likely.
Maybe similar to a like an Audi Haldex setup. Not that I would normally put this in the same sentence as an Audi Haldex setup, but you get what I mean. I would have thought it's probably front-wheel drive bias.
You can buy from Japan a conversion kit to make them rear-wheel drive.
Really?
And I think that would be a load of fun.
I bet it's really expensive.
Yeah, it's not the cheapest. There's videos online. They drift all these in Japan.
Really?
Yeah. All converted into rear-wheel drive.
Yeah. Oh. You wouldn't think it's a little 3-cylinder, would you?
No, it doesn't feel like it's a 3-cylinder.
No, definitely sounds like a larger displacement engine, like one with 4 cylinders as well. Well, needless to say, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you very much for giving me your time, Luke.
That's all right.
Much appreciated. And then just chuck it right in the car park here when we get to it. Yeah, much like my Fiat Seicento Sporting that I used to own, it's a small car with lots of character. Well, much like Monique, I suppose, my MX-5, a small car with lots of character. Yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, guys. If you want to get your car featured, then be sure to hit me up. on Instagram or Facebook. You can also get me on TikTok and X, but I don't really use those as much. Or you can send me an email, old school. Speaking of hitting people up, be sure to follow Luke and his car on Instagram. I'll put his Instagram handle just here at the bottom of your screen. Once again, thank you very much, Luke. It's been an absolute blast. Yeah, like I say, guys, if you have enjoyed it, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.